Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another day in this crazy, crazy world of ours. Yet another day when people like me and Paz and Rotten Politics and all the other reasonable people that we listen to, whose views line up with the vast majority of the population, are all smeared as hateful, bigoted, prejudiced psychos and fascists for having the most boring, middle-of-the-road opinions. But somebody like this can be given airtime on CNN and lauded by the powers that be. Just be thankful that you're represented by people like us and not people like this. Controversy over CNN's O.J. Simpson representation claim. Honestly, this is a belter, this one. This is a belter. Recently, CNN contributor Ashley Ellison sparked controversy by suggesting that O.J. Simpson represented something for the black community because 2 white people had been killed. This statement has elicited a range of reactions, with some criticising Allison for her comments, while others have engaged in discussions about the complex relationships between race, celebrity, and the criminal justice system. The conversation has unfolded across various platforms, highlighting the importance of nuanced and sensitive discussions on these topics. Complex and nuanced discussions about race and celebrity, right? Almost 8 years after a black man was running the free world and everybody thought it was normal. Obama's probably still the most popular American president of the last 50 years in Europe. Everybody loves him. But they're making out like none of it ever happened, ever, and 2024 is still like antebellum USA. Like you see a black bloke walking down the street in London in a suit and everybody goes, "Hoo-wee, we's a having us a hanging tonight, boys." Yeah, you have to be living in a fantasy land to say and think the absolute drivel that these lunatics come out with. But don't worry, we'll watch the video in full and then I'll rip the piss out of her for a few minutes and all will be right with the world. Nice one. Right then, as promised, here's the video. Strap yourselves in, take your brain out, throw it out the window. You're not going to need that for 2 minutes, because trust me, there is nothing reasonable to hear here. You know, one time growing up as a teenager in Middlesbrough, I remember walking past an abandoned petrol station and there was an escaped mental patient daubing some scribblings on the side of the wall in what looked to be human feces. However, as I passed, I did cast a glance at what he was writing, and I can confirm it did make more sense than what you're about to see here.
But it was so racially charged because of what had happened just before with Rodney King, but also just how Black Americans feel about policing. It's not like O.J. Simpson was the leader of the civil rights movement of his era. You know, he wasn't a social justice leader, but he represented something for the Black community in that moment, in that trial, particularly because there were 2 white people who had been killed. And the history...
We'll pause it there while she's got a maniacal look on her face. Listen. The only time, I know this is going to piss on the chips of any galloping social justice collectivists, communists, let's just call them what they are, of communists watching this video. But the only time you're entitled and can reasonably be saying to represent the opinions of a community is when you are an elected representative, because the people all got together and said, yeah, you can speak for us. When you pluck something out of your arse as nebulous as the words "the black community," right? When there are billions of people on the planet from hundreds of countries who happen to be black, we know that everything else that comes out your mouth is going to be Shiite. It's just obvious. You don't speak for them. There isn't some farmer toiling away in Lesotho going, "Yep, I agree with everything she says." Some middle-class American tart speaks for me. Yes, she knows exactly what I feel all of the time. It's ludicrous. And they always talk about these things as if they're important because that's them. Oh, no, he wasn't anything important, like a social justice activist. Nobody cares about you. People are too busy working, walking the dog, raising the kids, painting a fence, living life. Nobody cares about you people. You put yourselves on these pedestals and you live in an echo chamber, and these actually think they're rock stars. Like, she'll walk into some fancy restaurant in New York or wherever they filmed this drivel, and she's literally swanning about like she thinks she's Bono. And at least Bono can sing. These people are unbelievable narcissists. They consider themselves to be leaders of men, visionaries, Winston Churchills and Roosevelts. Great visionary leaders. You're not. You're a dickhead. A dickhead with a camera pointed at her, saying the most stupid, inane drivel ever. I'd be embarrassed to think it, let alone say it in a public place, you dippy bint. Jesus wept. That was one of the thickest things I've ever said. But let's just let her carry on. Never stop an idiot when they're talking. It's brilliant.
Around how Black people have been persecuted during slavery. There were just so many layers. And I guess I would just close with this, is that there was racial tension then, there is racial tension now. It might not be the backdrop of the Trump campaign, but until this country is ready to actually have an honest conversation about the racial dynamics from our origin story till today, we will always have moments like O.J. Simpson that manifest, and our country will always be divided if we don't actually deal with the issue of race.
And then ends on smug face like that. That was me being clever in public. No, that was you being a human sausage on television. I could have a more in-depth conversation with a Greek yogurt than that dippy mare. Unbelievable. So this is what I'm talking about. In 2024, people like Paz, or all of these massive movie critics, because sadly, the cretins that make up the masses are more interested in movie and cinema than they are in actually what goes on in the world. So you just have to hope they get splashed with some politics from sensible reviewers, like my pal, the Despot of Antrim, and Reaper, and all the other boys. Those people, genuinely normal people that basically represent 90% of people in the street, they're called hateful and evil by the people that run the world. But maniacs like this, they basically make excuses for the cold-blooded murder innocent people and then collectivise billions of people and say, yep, they all agree with me. They're the good guys. They're the good guys. I've never said it's acceptable to hurt anyone. Well, except that one time someone fired a rocket-propelled grenade launcher at us and we had to fill him full of holes in Afghanistan. But other than that, from a political standpoint, I've never advocated violence, intimidation, harassment or anything. Apparently I'm the bad guy, but she's a visionary leader of men. Yeah, she's Winston Churchill with threepenny bits. Go figure that one out. Lunacy, in my book. But what say you? Do you think she definitely encapsulates the views and vision of 10,000 agrarian farmers in Chad of the Democratic Republic of Congo? You think she speaks for them? Let me know if you do. I love talking to idiots. All right? Thanks for watching, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be doing a live stream tomorrow at 6 or 7. I don't even know what time zone is in the UK at this point. Yeah, I'll be doing one tomorrow evening, so tune in for that. All right? Thanks for watching. See you all then. Toodle pip. Have a good Friday. Cheers.